This week, we have another solid round of games, some really cool-looking games this week, including a new game from the developer of Pine and a new game from the developers of Sticky Business. So, with that said, let's continue down the list. Let's start with the first one, Band of Crusaders. So, this is described as a Witcher-esque strategy RPG with real-time combat set in a corrupted version of medieval Europe. Band of Crusaders is the debut game from the new indie studio Virtual Alchemy. And also, speaking of Witcher, this game is set in the familiarly named continent, which has fallen. So you must recruit your Crusaders, develop your camp, engage in battles, and manage your unit's mental and material needs as the Grandmaster of a knightly order traveling the countryside to repel the forces of Pandemonium. So, yeah, that one looks really cool. Again, a lot of these, by the way, this week are new games that have just been announced, which is cool to get a look at. So that's the first one, Band of Crusaders. Nick, do you want an old one or a new one next?
Give me an old one.
All right. So this one has been announced like a while ago, but today we have some dates for it. So I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it, but I'm going to say Reka. It's Reka. So Fireshine Games and Ember Storm Entertainment have announced that the eagerly anticipated witchcraft adventure, Reka, will launch on Steam Early Access on September 12th. For those of you who just want a buzzword, this is the game with the chicken-legged house. So that'd probably bring it right up to you guys if you remember. So along with the release date, they also shared news that the award-winning writer Rihanna Pratchett is collaborating with Ember Storm Entertainment as the game's lead writer. And if you watched last week's episode of The Inbox, you'll know why that name sounds familiar. If you didn't, go check that out. So shout out to Rihanna Pratchett for staying busy out there. Starting in September, players can experience the game's let's see here. Where were we? Jesus Christ, lost my place. Oh, starting in September, players can experience the game's opening chapters and discover their newfound powers of witchcraft to set out on an unforgettable journey with their walking chicken-legged cottage companion. Additional content and story updates will be introduced throughout the game's time in early access. And speaking of early access, Nick, the next game. Okay, I have to include this just because I feel like I'm like 95% certain that we did this game dirty, because I believe this was announced, or at least I believe it was announced, but it was at the very least showcased during the Game Awards last year. And while we were doing our live reaction, this was the game that Austin said, it's 10 p.m. and you guys are giving me an RTS right now. So because of we did the game dirty then, we're making up for it now. It's on the inbox. The highly anticipated real-time strategy game Stormgate from Frost Giant Studios, which is a development team that has developers from like Blizzard and who've worked on Stargate specifically as well. So that's kind of where this game kind of gets its roots. But so this game has officially entered early access on Steam and is available to play for free. So in Stormgate, players wage wars against war on a post-apocalyptic Earth. I can't speak. It's been a long episode.
Yep.
In a post-apocalyptic Earth where humanity remains under siege after a cataclysmic invasion by demonic forces. Take part in 1v1 and 3-player co-op missions, custom 2v2 team games, and get an early look at an initial set of campaign missions as the team continues to update the game. So Stormgate is expected to be in early access for at least a year of active development, and is also playable through NVIDIA's GeForce Cloud gaming platform which would be cool. Again, so I don't play RTSs, but this one, it is free to play. It's very accessible, and I think that was a big thing that they really kind of emphasized during the showcases, is that like, hey, this is like easy to pick up and play, and with a price tag of free, what's the reason not to play it? Nick, are you going to check this one out?
I'm like kind of interested in it. I know it's, some former Blizzard devs, and there's some lineage of StarCraft with Stormgate. So that does kind of, intrigue me.
That's the main thing for me as well. Yeah. I'm curious about what they were able to do here, and how that kind of, they iterate on that formula.
Yeah, Stormgate, it is as of the time of us recording, it is currently 10 o'clock again, and we are indeed giving an RTS.
Well, okay, let's change the pace to something maybe more up your speed, Nick. How about a little game called The Knightling? From publisher Saber Interactive comes the new game from Twirlbound, the indie studio behind the award-winning Pine. When Sir Lionstone, the legendary protector of the great city of Klesia, I pronounced that terribly, mysteriously disappears, it's up to his plucky Knightling to take up his magic shield and become the hero that the people need. So the Knightling will arrive on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam sometime in 2025. And if you're watching the reveal trailer, which just went up, the first half of it is like this kind of animation that's like you don't really see much of the game. Though I will say, surprisingly, I was like, oh, I'm a little bit invested right off the bat with the direction of this storytelling. And then again, halfway into the trailer, you get into the gameplay, and then I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'll look at it. It has, look, you could definitely describe it as a Breath of the Wild-esque game, in terms of gameplay, both in like the way the world looks and the general art design. But that's not a bad thing. And as long as a game is able to have original kind of content within that context, I'm down for it. And right now, just what I've seen, the glimpse that I've got of the Knightling looks awesome. And it
has a really striking art style. It looks it's still kind of animated in that Zelda-esque way, but like it definitely doesn't look exactly like Zelda.
Yeah, 100%.
I do like this. Got some acrobatic looking combat. I that does perk my ears up. So.
Yep. Now the last. I mean, speaking of a strong art style, Nick, the next game is a very striking one, I think, visually. This is Ritual of Raven. From Spell Garden Games, the developers of the cozy shop sim Sticky Business, comes a new game from Team 17 Digital as a publisher. So Ritual of Raven is a cozy story-based farming sim where you don't have to do the farming yourself. Enchant magical creatures to help you grow the ingredients of your rituals and complete your Book of Shadows, befriend quirky characters, decorate your farm, command the moon to change its phase, and explore the magical world around you. Ritual of Rain. Check it out. There's no full dates on that, but looks like a cool one. And as always, not as always, as a new thing that we are now doing, the inbox doesn't have to just be watched, does not have to be just listened to. You can go to respawnstation.com and check out each of the games I've talked about here, along with the trailer. So you can see the description, you can see the trailer. Actually, I will clarify. Ritual of Raven, just spotted it. It is coming out on PC via Steam and Nintendo Switch in 2025. So we're ending with 2 2025 games. So a bit of a wait for those, but they both look really awesome. So that's the highlight of the week.